So potentially big news this morning. The Pentagon reportedly one step closer to a major change in how it handles military sexual assault cases. The Associated Press reporting a Pentagon panel is recommending decisions on prosecuting service members for sexual assault no longer be made by commanders, instead calling for those decisions to be made by independent authorities. That is different from how it happens now. The panel's recommendation is one of several now in the hands of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. I want to bring in now retired Navy Captain Lory Manning, Director of Government Relations for the Service Women's Action Network. She has also testified before Congress on sexual assault in the military. Captain Manning, good morning to you. Thanks for being on this topic.
Good morning, Hallie. I'm glad to be here.
So for years, as you know, military leaders, the pushback has been, that this kind of change would hurt the chain of command. You were in the chain of command. You were a commander. What would this change mean for people in your former role?
It would mean being relieved in a good way of decisions that we're not really capable of making any more than we would be capable of making decisions on medical treatments our people need. These kinds of decisions affect people's lives, both the accused and the accuser, and they need to be made by people who have the correct training to do it. And I'm very happy to hear that the independent Review Commission is making this recommendation.
There's also the issue of reporting, right? And specifically underreporting. The AP noted that, yes, reports of sexual assault in the military are increasing. They're up 13% in 2018, up 3% in 2019. But there's also people who don't report. This annual Defense Department survey found in 2018, the most recent one, that more than 20,000 service members said they experienced some kind of sexual assault. Only a third of them filed a formal report. What's your understanding of some of the discrepancy in these numbers here?
The main reason people give when you ask them, why didn't you report it, is that they're afraid of retaliation. The same people that are writing their performance evaluations, that are determining what jobs they get, that determine whether they can go on leave to go home for family holidays, are the same people that they are putting on reports, so to speak, and there are conflicts there. People are afraid of retaliation and effects on their career, and rightly so.
The panel's other initial recommendations reportedly include improvements in allowing victims to get protective orders, and said there should be a set timeline, right, for the justice process. Are you satisfied with these recommendations? Coupled with what we talked about just a couple of minutes ago, do you think that this all taken as a whole does enough to address these issues?
It's a good start. I am happy that they have made these recommendations, but none of these things in and of itself stops the problem. That requires a very deep cultural change in the military. Also, these recommendations affect the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which means Congress will have to approve them. And so far, Congress has avoided taking the step this recommendation is making. And I hope they will finally come around and see why it's so very necessary.
Retired Captain Lory Manning. Captain Manning, thank you so much for your perspective and expertise on the show this morning. We appreciate it. We're going to be keeping an eye on that as it makes its way through the process.